Good morning, everyone. It is a sunny mid-November day here in Alabama, and Mike and I are getting ready to flip some rocks. So as you can see, fall's in full swing. We're really starting to transition into early winter more than anything. Got some really cold overnights, but we're still having fairly warm daytime highs. So today's supposed to be around 77 degrees. Hopefully it actually gets pretty warm today. It feels like it's going to. But we don't want it to get too warm because then it's going to be too hot to flip. So it's going to be an interesting day either way, hopefully. So we're going to get after it, and I will let you guys know what we find. I'm going to try to run the GoPro for most of the day, so hopefully I'll get some flip clips. Well, there's our first herp of the day. That little guy is a Webster salamander. Little baby one. They get a little bit bigger than that, so not full grown. Very tiny salamanders to begin with. And that one is a baby. Anyways, I assume we're going to see plenty more of these guys today, so I'm just going to leave this little guy to it. And sure enough, a few feet down the trail, there's our next Webster eye of the day. This guy is actually closer to full size. They get a little bit bigger than that, the big females, but pretty typical size Webster salamander. You can see the variation with these two. Almost look like completely different salamanders, but they are the same species. Very nice. We're going to be seeing plenty more of these, I think, so we're just going to leave them to it. Alright guys, well there's our first snake of the day. Mike had just found this guy while he was raking through the leaf litter, trying to put a rock back. But yeah, first snake of the day. Hopefully it won't be the last. It's been a kind of slow start so far, but it's to be expected with how cool it was this morning. So yeah, we're just going to put this guy back, but first ring neck of the day. Hopefully not the last snake we see. I already flipped this, but I figured it would show better on the phone than on the GoPro. Triple. 3 Webster eye under that one. They all took off. Well, it's been many hours. All of my GoPro batteries are dead, and as a result, I wasn't recording. But there is our second snake of the day. A stunningly beautiful little red-bellied snake. Check that guy out. He's got a wide stripe. Really cool looking. Alright guys, here's another look at this thing. Really beautiful. He's not sitting for photos. You can see he's pretty big for a red-bellied snake. He's got a beautiful underside too. I'll pick him up here in a second. Look at that. Really nice. You can see he's got a much more vibrant belly than the one we saw in the last video in my yard, which almost had a yellow belly. That's a more typical looking red-bellied snake belly. But I mean, I've seen them with a stripe before, but I've never seen one that looked quite like that. It's definitely one of the coolest ones I've found. All right, we're gonna put this guy back. It's only the second snake of the day, and we've been out here for quite a while. Long enough that my GoPro is dead. And did not get a single snake flip clip. Really sucks. But we're gonna keep at it and see if we can turn up something else. At least we're finding a few things, so not the worst. There's a nice big snake shed. Looks like probably a black king snake, honestly. Smooth scales, pretty dark, and definitely looks a little lamprey pelpusy to me. But it's pretty old shed, not fresh, but still figured it was cool to show you guys. We see stuff like this pretty regularly. We even flipped a few sheds under rocks today, but no snakes to be seen for the most part. All right guys, so under that rock, I flipped our next snake of the day. Another little red-bellied snake. This one's more normal looking. Micah flipped another ring neck that got away, so we're now at a total of 4 snakes for the day, I believe. Not bad, but way less than I was expecting. I was really hoping we'd kill it today, but it's pretty clear that isn't happening, but at least we're finding stuff. You never complain about November snakes. But anyways, we're currently making our way back to the car, so if we don't see anything else, this might be the end of this part of the video. So we're gonna let this guy go, and hopefully we'll be able to find a couple more rocks to flip. I mean, we've got a nice rocky outcrop here we're following. That one looks like it might flip, so we'll put this guy back and we're gonna get back to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we did not see too much else yesterday after that last red-bellied snake. I think I flipped maybe one more slimy salamander before we made it back to the car. But anyways, it's the next day. Today was nice and warm, but I ended up spending most of the day inside editing. And now, as you can see, it is pouring down rain. It's nice and warm still. Maybe even a little bit too warm for an ideal salamander migration, but hopefully this precipitation is going to bring out an army of salamanders tonight. So I'm getting ready to head down to the road and walk around for a little bit and see what we can turn up. All right, here's our first herp of the night. This is a nice gray tree frog, and a pretty good sign that this is a nice warm rain. These guys are not winter breeders, they're summertime breeders and late spring, so this guy must just be out looking for food or enjoying the wet night, because there's not much for him to be doing life cycle wise right now. And if anything, he should be preparing for brumation, because these guys are pretty inactive in the winter months. So we're just gonna leave him to it. But first herp of the night, nice little Cope's gray tree frog. All right, this one's a spotted too. We got a spotted here, and then we've got a big female marbled being followed by another spotted. What is this? Look at the size of this thing. That's awesome. So there's that guy, and then we have this big, beautiful marbled. This thing is actually, I mean, that's about as big as marbled salamanders come. That thing is huge. And then, surprisingly, yet another spotted. Here's the first one of these of the night. This is a spring peeper, a species that will only become more common as we get towards the midwinter months. These guys are typically only breeding once we get into maybe late winter, late January, early February, but we see a lot of them on the road in the winter like this, so we're just gonna leave them to it. Caitlin's got something over here, so let's see what she's got. Oh, nice. Nice little northern slimy salamander. He's got a regenerated tail. You can see it's a little bit shorter and less voluptuous than usual. Nice, good looking salamander. And this guy right here is a beautiful big female upland chorus frog. So these guys are our closest relative to the peeper we have in this area, both in the genus Pseudacris. And these guys tend to breed a little bit earlier. Sometimes they'll even breed as early as December. So more typically, we expect to hear these guys start calling and reproducing around New Year's, something like that. Beautiful big female chorus frog. Caitlin's got something up here. We're gonna see. Oh, there's another chorus, or another gray tree frog. Big, beautiful one. Look at that. And then up here, there's another one over there. Slimy here.
And that one.
Big slimy. And then another slimy. Look at that. And then right here, it's another spotted. That was like 5 within a couple of feet of each other. Very nice. There's a big marbled salamander. This one might even be bigger than that last one. Just hanging out with a leaf on top of him. Very nice. That's actually a big male, I think.
Wow, that one's pretty.
Really cool. A beautiful salamander. We'll get him out of the road. All right, so here we have a nice live northern slimy. Lots of these guys out. And then up here, oh, there's actually 2. I didn't see that second one. 2 marbleds following each other across the road. So this looks like 2 big boys following each other. Generally, male marbled salamanders are the ones that with this more striking white coloration. Females get a little bit duller gray. Here's another one of these guys. This one's yet another tiny one. Lots of yearling spotted salamanders or several month-old spotted salamanders from last winter's breeding migration. Normally we won't expect to see any adults until maybe mid-December, but we could always luck up and find a random early mover. So we're gonna move this guy to the road. All right, guys, here's another man. This looks like another little spotted. Never would have guessed spotteds would be out in such numbers tonight, and they're all these little yearlings. These guys were definitely born last winter and early into last spring, so good to see there was such a good crop of spotted salamanders last year. And just past the spotted, yet another adult marbled. Very nice. And another one of these. That's crazy how many of these guys we're seeing tonight. That one's got some nice orange on his head. Look at that. Surprisingly, this is the first one of these we've seen. Normally, they're one of the more common salamanders whenever it's wet. This is a nice sub-adult, small adult four-toed salamander. They get a little bit bigger than that. Normally we see big males and females a little bit later in the winter when they start to really start their breeding season up, and maybe the end of this month, maybe early December. But really good looking salamanders. These are very unique in that they're the only members of the genus Hemidactylium. And there's four-toed number 2, only a few seconds later. I know we got a car coming, so I'm going to move this guy real quick. Alright, here's a nice, this guy's got some kind of interesting pattern on him actually. You can see those concentrations of the blotches, mostly down towards the belly. Very nice. Handsome northern slimy salamander. Alright, there we go. Yet another big chunky marbled. That is really what we were hoping to see good numbers of tonight, and so far, this definitely seems to be the case. So, look at that guy. Beautiful. Alright, this is a good stretch normally, so see if we can get anything on the recording. You see it's raining a little bit harder than I normally want it to, just because I can't keep my camera out as long if it's getting soaked. Not seeing anything directly up ahead, so might end up cutting for a second until we find something else. Luckily for this guy, he actually got himself off the road before we got here. That's in situ, just chilling in the leaf litter. Marbled salamander number however many at this point. He is making his way. Yet another marbled. Keep going, keep going. Well, this guy just came flying onto the road. That is not a species we see this late in the year terribly often. Very nice, handsome adult green tree frog. This is about as big as these guys get. They're one of our bigger tree frogs, but really nice. Normally a more summer active species, so kind of weird to see this guy this late in the fall. But it is nice and warm out here, so I suppose it isn't terrible weather to see one. There's another little spotted guy. Let's get you out of the road. There goes a marbled. Unfortunately, my light is dying because I grabbed a mostly dead battery like a dummy. So we're gonna have to run back up to the house. Might come out again a bit later. We'll see. It is raining a little bit more than I'd like right now, but if I go inside, I'm just gonna be sitting around being wet until I come back out. So might just try to stick it out with this one battery and hope it stays alive long enough for another pass. But another nice marbled salamander. There's our next guy. Looks like yet another marbled, or no, yet another spotted. That one's dead. There's another live spotted salamander. I think we've seen just as many of these as we have marbleds, and that is unusual. Alright, here we have another spotted double. That last one actually, one of them was hit, but only his tail was run over, so he was alive and well. And we got number 2 right there. Oh, it looks like one over there. We'll get another spotted here. Yet another one. And then another one over here. This is more spotted than we see even during peak breeding migration. It was a really good year for them. See any more up there? Yeah, there's at least 2 more right here. Look at this. No, that's just one. The other one's a leaf. But yeah, tons of these. Really crazy. This guy ran under a leaf. So we've seen 3 snakes tonight, but they've all been dead. 2 ringnecks and 1 brown snake. And we've got spotted there, and yet another one right there. Insane how many of these guys are out tonight. And right here by these spotted's a little metamorph green frog. You can see he's got a little bit of a dorsolateral fold going.
Oh, hello. Another one. Another spotted.
Where?
They're next
Okay.
to me.
So one here, one here,
Oh, here it comes.
and then one here.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we're kind of in the home stretch here, almost back to the house. Got one spotted here, one going off right there. That guy. And then this guy. Alright, here's our next salamander. That is a gigantic two-lined salamander. Holy crap. That is easily the biggest two-line I've ever seen. That is insane.
Oh, very nice.
Look at that. That is insane. This two-line salamander is the size of an adult three-line salamander. And he's got a super busy back pattern. Looks like it's a female. I can't really tell. His head isn't super swollen like the guarding males of the southern two-line salamander. But he doesn't have cirri, so it might just be a big female. Hard to say, though. Really cool-looking salamander. Look at those spots on the back end of the tail. Love the detail in these guys, and really all salamanders. That's one of the coolest things, is there's just so much detail on such a small animal. And like you can see his veins running down his sides there. Crazy. It's just super cool how you can just see the very function of this thing's body in person, because of just how transparent and interesting their skin is. Really beautiful salamander. Alright, I'm going to move this one off the road, and we're probably going to call it a night here unless we see anything between here and the driveway, which is like 10 feet away, so we'll see. So right here at the bottom of the driveway, we have a big male four-toed salamander. This is an adult. And then another little spotted right here. Very nice. Two more salamanders. So I showed you a little shot of him in my hand there. I had my flashlight in my mouth so I couldn't talk, but this is an adult male four-toed salamander. You can see he's got those big pheromone receptors dangling down. But really cool, beautiful orange carrot-colored salamander that we have in pretty good numbers here. Alright guys, the rain is petering out, the sky's clearing. You can see the pretty bright November moon right there, and we're coming back up the driveway, so if we see anything else, I'll let you guys know. But if not, I'll probably wrap up this segment of the video here. Might try to get one more outing in before I wrap this video up, so. Are you kidding me? That is a baby corn snake in my driveway. What the heck? That is insane. Holy crap, he's getting grumpy too. That is amazing. So if you have spent any time at all watching my channel, you know that we don't really see corn snakes in the yard at all. I don't think ever on our channel have we seen one in the yard, and I can only think of one other I've seen here on our property. And it was basking out. Look at that snake. That thing is beautiful. That is incredible. Just look at it. This is definitely this year's hatchling, still really small, but what a gorgeous little snake. Perfectly, that's just insane. I think today is today is November 11th, it's Veterans Day, and there is a corn snake crossing my driveway after dark in the pouring rain. That is incredible. What a way to end the night. That is so cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it does not get much better than that while out salamandering. Look at that cave cricket just hanging out on that leaf. Oh, here he comes. Look at that guy. That is so cool. Like I said, this is the second ever corn snake I have found here at home. We never flipped them under the tin. The only one I've seen here was flipped prior to actually even starting a YouTube channel. I want to say it was back in like 2014, 2015. And since then, this is the only one I've ever seen. Now, right down the road where we road cruise, we see them pretty regularly. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 times a year regularly, but I mean, they're by no means a common snake anywhere around here. There are plenty of places in northern Georgia where they are common. This just isn't one of them. And on top of them being relatively uncommon, this thing is just gorgeous. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful little corn snake. It has been a really good year for finding corn snakes in weird situations and weird corn snakes like the albino we got earlier in the spring. And this little guy in my own driveway. And I'm sitting here looking at this corn snake, and then this guy hops over. That's an American toad. First one of those we've actually seen tonight. I'm assuming this little guy is out cruising for a late season meal. We've got a decent little warm stretch in the forecast. It's not supposed to get terribly cold over the next couple of days, so I'm just going to leave this guy to his business. Hopefully he can find a meal and he doesn't get a meal too late, because that can also be bad if they get caught digesting a meal when we get our first cold snap. So it has been fairly cold. It's been in the high 30s, but we haven't had a freeze yet. I'm assuming that freeze is probably coming in a week or two. This is weird. I'm just watching this toad hop by as I video the corn. The corn is actually crawling right over to the toad. I wonder what's gonna happen here. I don't think they're gonna mess with each other, but it's kind of interesting nonetheless. Let's see what the reaction is. It seems like the toad doesn't even really notice the corn is there, even though he's poking around that leaf. But anyways, I'm gonna move this guy away from the toad just so they don't mess with each other, and I'm gonna let him go. There you go, buddy. Stay safe. Have a good winter. Use my tin. I put it there for you guys, and none of you use it. Yet somehow they're still around and just never turn up under the tin. Super weird. Either way, that is a fantastic way to end the night. I might actually end up having enough to wrap this video up here. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And on this note, I'm going to wrap this video up. Beautiful little corn snake here in my yard. I will see you guys in the next episode. Alright everyone, I just wanted to remind you one more time to check out the calendar link if you haven't already. It's going to be in the description of this video. Don't forget to use discount code NOAH5 for $5 off. If you're watching this and have no idea what I'm talking about, one of my good friends, Bob Ferguson, does holiday calendars every year and donates 100% of the profit to the Rainforest Trust, and is directly able to preserve land in the rainforest that is in desperate need of being protected. So check out the link in my description and check out the calendars. They're all wildlife photography: snakes, frogs, turtles, birds, and then there's some regional based ones like Africa and Pennsylvania as well. So I've been in contact with Bob a little bit. I know we have been selling calendars pretty well. So thank you all again. Thank you if you decided to order a calendar this year. And I guess I will see you guys in the next episode.